I became a firefighter in 1997 as part of the Chaska Fire Department, and I became a firefighter as a volunteer. And I was a part of the emergency services system for a number of years. I was working as a paramedic full-time, and I often had people in the community that said, hey, why don't you come be part of the fire department? And for a number of years, I just didn't feel like it was something that I could commit the time to. After a number of years of being asked by members who were on that fire department, I had conversations with my wife a number of times, and finally she said, well, you're doing it anyway, why don't you just go do it? And so that was my ticket in, and I am so blessed and fortunate to have had that opportunity to continue to be able to do it today. So the volunteer fire service in whole is so important to our state. It's so important to me personally because I wouldn't be where I am today without that. And I talked about that as a paramedic, what might my career look like? And I think as all of us as individuals, we set goals and expectations with where we might want that to be. That opportunity came when I got a chance to be part of the Chaska Fire Department. And the Chaska Fire Department offered me opportunities to be trained as a firefighter, to then go on to get further training as an officer, and to be able to be engaged in different opportunities both locally, regionally, and outside of the state. And certainly it built my career for the opportunity to be able to go on to be able to be a full-time fire chief. Without what I was able to do as a paid-on-call firefighter, and then as a paid-on-call fire captain, as a paid-on-call assistant chief, all of those things put tools in my toolbox to help me to be able to be where I am today. We're looking for individuals that are committed to customer service and committed to be part of connections with people. This business is so relational, and we have to be able to connect with people. The fire service is built around team. We don't do things by ourselves, and individually we all have to have skills and abilities, but to make things work, we need to be able to have team players. We need to have people that are able to work and interact with people in different situations. Certainly we see people at their worst, and we see sometimes when they're at their best. And that ability to be able to be a team is super important. One of the things that I often share with our newest recruits when we're doing an orientation session is, hey, to be successful in a fire department, and I'll use Eden Prairie because that's where we are, but I think you could apply this to any fire department across the country. I think today, in today's environment, it's got to be somewhere in your top 4. And I say, what does that mean in your top 4? We all have family. Most of us have another full-time job because you're doing this as a volunteer, and you've got another activity that you might be involved in. Like, I love playing softball with my buddies. I'm involved with the church choir. I'm involved with some activity in the community. That's a 3. But to be part of the fire department, there's the 4. And we realize that they may move a little bit between those 4, but somehow it's got to be somewhere in that top 4 to continue to be successful both short-term and long-term. So to become an Eden Prairie firefighter, we do a recruitment process every year. We do that recruitment process that starts with an online application process. You'd go onto the city's website, you'd apply in an online process. Once that happens, then we start through a process. That process includes reviewing applications and then interview processes, and there's a couple of steps to that. And then there's a physical ability process, and then finally there are conditional offers including medical evaluations and psychological evaluations, all which lead to a spot to say, yeah, we're looking for you to be a member of our team here in the fire department. To become an Eden Prairie firefighter, do I need any training? You know, that's a great question, and in some cases, you could come here fully trained, and in many cases, we might get that. You could also come here with no training, and we would put you through that training. We're very fortunate in our state that we have a system where people can get trained in the basics of firefighting, Firefighter 1. They can go through the hazardous materials training. They can go through Firefighter 2 or the advanced level fire operational things, and then put all those things together to become a firefighter and be able to work. Now, we all know that that gives you baseline training. It doesn't necessarily give you all the things that you need to be successful long-term. Those are things that we help do with regular weekly training with what we do in the fire department. So if you want to be a firefighter here in the city of Eden Prairie, is it going to cost you anything? It wouldn't cost you anything to apply to be part of our fire department. In fact, we would put you through all the training. And so we believe that that's part of the benefits and part of the compensation package, if you will, that we give you as part of what we do here in the city of Eden Prairie. So we put you through that training. We train you with our academy. And our academy includes training not just with Eden Prairie firefighters, but with firefighters that are around our region. What's the benefit to that? You get a chance to be able to learn with others, and we might do it one way and somebody else might do it a little bit different, but we get a chance to be able to do that together. You want to come be part of our fire department, and you want to make sure, and your family wants to be sure, how are you going to be safe here? How do we do that? Well, I can tell you that without a great team of people, it's not just me. I certainly have some oversight to that as the fire chief in the city of Eden Prairie. We have great people that work here, including our assistant chiefs and our captains and our lieutenants and every one of our firefighters, because safety is a cultural expectation that's here. And we work in an environment, there's risk in what we do here, but in the practices and the procedures and the operational things that we do, all those things are foundational to be able to make sure that we're doing that safe. That starts from the time you start as a recruit, going through recruit training, and that continues until the day that you retire, because everything that we do is foundational around how do we make sure that it's safe. If you look around in not only our fire department, but in probably other fire departments that you may interact with, you might see that the words, everyone goes home. And that everyone goes home is really about firefighter safety, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the business we do has got risk, but the way we do that and the procedures that we use can all make that better for us.